and welcome to this video. And a week ago or something like that, I participated at the chess championship in Austria. And I was one of the favorites there, but I played really badly and actually I lost 3 games. And yeah, in this video I want to show you all 3 games that I lost. And for example, this is my game of the second round, and I played as white. I lost all games with the white color, and yeah, I'm down a pawn, and obviously I'm worse. But here, so my last move was bishop d2. I want to play bishop g5 check. Then my bishop gets active. And here played f6, which was quite interesting. Now the point is after e takes f6, not to take back. I mean, I can give this check, then this pawn is hanging, so this would be completely lost for black. But his idea was to play king f7, and now this pawn is kind of a weakness. I have all my pawns on the dark squares, so my bishop is quite bad, and this bishop can attack these pawns. And now his next move is d5, and then my rook doesn't have that many good squares, because if I go to e5 or f4, there might be some bishop d6 and then e5. So in the game I played bishop g5, but actually this wasn't really necessary, and after d5 I got into a lot of trouble and I lost the game. But if I would have understood I could stop this d5 idea, I would have played it. Now, okay, the best move is c4. Of course, this doesn't stop d5 completely. Also should mention that something like bishop e4 or bishop d3 before e3 with the idea to meet bishop takes b4 with rook takes d7 and then take back the bishop. Because if something like king e8, I mean, I can even play rook b7, and then this pawn is hanging. So, but instead he will play d5, and now if I take his bishop, I'm losing the exchange, and I'm lost. And if I move my rook, I don't know where, he can just defend his bishop, for example, and this pawn is also really weak, and he is winning in this position. So I should have played c4, just to slow down this d5 a bit. Now, if it takes, I can just take back, and I think I'm very happy, because this bishop is under attack. After something like rook c8, let's say this rook, you know, he has huge problems, and he's actually losing the game because of this pin. So yeah, I should have played c4, and after d5, this pawn is a little bit weak. And also have the e file, which can be also used by black. But, you know, this pawn is actually probably not that weak, and it's a strength, and I'm a little bit worse in this position, but the game goes on. I played bishop g5, but after d5, he got a fantastic position, and later on I lost the game. So let's go to the second game. So I think this was here. And here he played knight f4. And I had to take. And after rook takes f4, here was where everything went wrong. I played queen c4. But, okay, he played simply king h8. My idea was some threatening this. And if he plays c5, then maybe I can take knight takes e5, and d takes d5 is not really possible because of d6 check. And I have also this great square on d5 for the knight. But he just played king h8, and after I castled, this queen is just really exposed to some b5, a5, b5, knight d7, knight b6, knight c5, okay, and this pawn is also pinned. So this was a really bad move. Also something like long castle knight d7 is really unpleasant for me, because his knight is coming to c5. Yeah, and I just didn't like that, and after dc6. Mina thought he had the move knight c5 with to mid this with bishop b6. Apparently can just play queen e3, because then his pawn is hanging because of the pin. Yeah, but also he can take back, and something like this is really dangerous for me. I'm up a pawn, but my king is really weak and this queen is stupid on c6. So here I had a great opportunity to play d takes c6. And normally you don't want to play this move, because you traded your d5 pawn for the b7 pawn, so this b file opens up and I've lost control over the center. But it's a bit more concretely, because if I castle long here, also bishop a6, and I'm in a lot of trouble. But I have the fantastic move knight to d5, which I completely missed. Now the point is, first of all, if the rook moves somewhere, let's say f8, I mean, it can take and go long castle, and I have a lot of pressure here. And if it takes, then I have this double attack. I mean, black might have some compensation for the exchange, but the game is really interesting, and I shouldn't. Yeah, and anything can happen basically. Yeah, that was what I should have done. So I knew that his king was weak, and I tried to exploit that immediately by playing the move d4. I mean, I could also maybe castle something like that. After e takes d4, I played the move c takes d4. Okay. Now the move c takes d4 would be a great move if he didn't have this resource which he played in the game. So I'm threatening d5 to win the knight, and this rook is defended. And for example, if he plays d5, maybe I can just castle or play knight c3. This pawn doesn't really count that much. I can even sack my knight because the c file opens up. That was also my idea when I played c takes d4, to put some pressure over the c file. But unfortunately for me, so also g4 is met with d5 and he has a lot of problems. Unfortunately for me, he had to move b5, which I completely missed. Now he's blocking the c file. Now if I move my queen, let's say to c2, plays g4, and once the knight moves, he can take on d4. And after queen takes b5, he has rook b8, and now I'm losing the b4 pawn. And actually, the position is still equal, but the position just collapsed for me. I played queen e2, and now I played g4. I should have played b5, but I didn't like knight b4. Played something like knight e2, and after knight takes d4, I'm just completely lost. So that's how I lost all my white games in this round. I still was able to win all my games with black and finished with 4 out of 7. But still I lost 70 rating points, elo points. And yeah, this was one of my worst tournaments. I hope you learned something of my bad games, and see you in the next video.